Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. This video is about Incogni. I've been using this service for 3 years now. Is it really worth it? You might have seen ads for Incogni. They have an aggressive marketing campaign, just like sister product Surfshark. This is one of the first data broker removal tools out there. Not the first one, but one of the first ones. I used to use a service called Delete Me. However, Delete Me was extremely expensive. I don't really like the company that much per se. I feel like their marketing is a little more dishonest. If you want to help support the channel, if you like honest, objective reviews just like mine, not sponsored ads, if you use my link in the description down below, you'll be able to get any discount that's available, any free months or anything like that available. If you click on that link, it'll help support the channel. If you don't want to help support the channel, I'm not going to make any money from this video. I barely make any money from YouTube ads, but this is my full-time job. So I do make my living from people like you supporting me. I don't beg for money on Patreon with crappy Patreons or anything like that. But let's get into my honest kind of appraisal of Incogni, if it's worth it after paying my own money for 3 years for this product. Let's get into it right now. So guys, this is what Incogni looks like on my screen right here. This is kind of what it will look like for your dashboard. You're kind of just paying for this as a service. It's not an application. It's a website, your subscription, so forth. So as you can see, I've been subscribed for 3 years. They've sent out 703 emails or requests for my data remove. There's currently 89 in progress. Completed have been 614. So basically in progress means they're adding websites all the time to tell them to remove information about you. So that is kind of one of the reasons you subscribe to services like this. They increase the amount. If not, you're going to be having to make this your part-time job, going to websites, asking them to remove your information. Sometimes they don't want to. Sometimes you have to follow up in threads. It's just a huge waste of time. And as you can see, Incogni claims they've saved me over 460 hours based on how long it would take to submit each request manually. So according to them, that would take like maybe a little bit like an hour and a half for each request. I don't really know if I believe that. But I honestly said, even if it saved me 60 hours for 3 years, that's a worthy investment, I believe, since that is a lot of websites that have my information. So here we go. You can see the activity log of various websites being removed. You can see the full activity log of all the websites being removed. You can see there's just so many of these. I haven't heard of many of these. Most people probably haven't. But the good news about that is even if most people haven't heard about these, sometimes kind of advertisers that spam your phone, text messages, anything like this, sometimes they will have their information and call you and bother you. So Incogni can remove data, advertising kind of like that.
I keep getting spam calls. God damn it. That's it. I'm done. Whoa, it blew up. Well, I guess that solved it.
People spam calling you, stuff like that. I've never really thought of that as like the main case for Incogni. I've seen it kind of advertised like that by some people who are not privacy people. But me specifically, I view Incogni and other tools like it as more of like dox prevention tools. If you're someone who's online, whether that just be someone who has a Discord presence, Twitter presence, if you're not even an influencer or content creator, you might have had situations where someone found out your real name, tried to harass you by looking up your name, finding your address and stuff like that. It's very common on the internet, and all these websites are hosting information. So someone finds your name and they want to kind of harass you, find out more about you, stalk you, anything like that. These tools, in my opinion, are essential for making that much harder. Most of the time, if they can't find your information within 5 to 10 minutes, most of these hackers and trolls will give up. So they won't be able to find your address, your family members, your phone number, stuff like that. So they can't send you 20 pizzas or just keep spam calling you. And that's really what Incogni, in my opinion, does. Not so much the removal of automated spam calling, but it does have that extra benefit as well. So I've seen people saying, hey, I still get spam calls all the time. Well, unfortunately, that's the reality of the modern age. And I wouldn't if I was in charge of Incogni, I want to advertise that as being the main case of, what it can do, since I do think that's going to happen all the time. Anytime you move, you're feeding information, USPS, your address and stuff like that is getting leaked to various companies, telemarketing companies. Unfortunately, the reality of just existing in the modern era is some of your information is going to leak out. But the goal is to make it so you can't just like some hacker or troll or stalker can't just find it by doing searches in white pages. And I do think that's what it's effective at. So this is kind of the main page. It kind of shows you the progress and stuff that's going on, so you ensure your subscription is kind of working. You could go to the data broker tab at the top here. You can see specifically what's going on, when it happened, so that's nice. You can see more information about the request, how long it took, so forth. You could add custom removals. Maybe you find a website that has your information, but you don't want to go through the hassle of emailing them. You could do this right here. So this does include, this does have the unlimited plan. So if you want to pay a little bit more, I'm not specifically paying for that since I've found good success with the basic model. But let's go ahead and go over the pricing if I think it's been worth what it saved me as far as time. So specifically with my link, you'll get this deal here. I'll put that link in the description down below. So the standard plan is around $7.99 a month. So the annual plan is that. So that would be around $96 a year. As you can see here, yep, my math holds up. And you can get the other plans as well. So this will include custom removal. It also adds more websites, stuff like that. The nice thing is Incogni does have a family plan. When I first started reviewing it, it didn't. So that is a nice added benefit. So if you want to add some of your family members, this will add up to 5. So that's a pretty good deal for 5 members for $200 a year, roughly $191. You could remove all that information. So it is a pretty good price bundled in if you think about it. So let's say you just did 5 of the individual plan. That would actually be $500. So you're getting quite a good deal there with the family plan. But in my opinion, I'm just using the standard plan. I do think it's worth the cost. $100 a year really isn't that much. I've spent around $300 for this for 3 years, and it's removed like 600 websites for my information. I think that's a pretty good deal. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. How do you also think about if it's a good deal or not? Well, you got to think about, what are the competitors asking for? So I would say the biggest competitor is probably Delete Me. Let's see what they're charging nowadays. So Delete Me charges around $130 a year. The family plan, 1 year, 4 people, is going to be $329. So more expensive for sure. $191 for Incogni's 5-member, and this is $329 for 4 people. So yeah, as you can see, Incogni is definitely way cheaper than competitors like Delete Me. So that is how I kind of view the value proposition. I do think it's a good deal, especially with other services out there charging much more and giving actually less. I've also heard people saying that Delete Me has like extra plans within the plans that they don't really advertise on the main page, and they could charge you even more. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Not something I've really seen with Incogni. So guys, as you know, like I said, I'm an objective reviewer. What are some of the cons of these services? Well, let's be real here. I think after the first year or 2, I don't know how necessary it is to keep subscribing. I think if you click on my link by a year or so, I think that honestly will do a majority of the work. Why do you keep subscribing? Well, it's because they just keep adding websites, removing more and more things. So it kind of depends on how paranoid you are. If you want to keep paying just for the peace of mind, I think it's worth it. But the first year, especially the first 2 years, you're going to get the bulk of stuff removed. You might not really need to subscribe, but after that, of course, if I was sponsored by Incogni or owned by Incogni, I would say just keep subscribing forever, right? But I know everybody has a budget, and that's just kind of the reality of it. I think these services do the most in the first year, maybe even the first 6 months. I think they do the most. But unfortunately, they kind of priced it out smartly. So let's say 6 months, $30 a month, it'd be $180. So really, it's just better to subscribe for at least 1 year, see how it works and stuff like that. So I do think it is best kind of when you think about it in terms of that. What are some of the other cons? Well, I mean, you could just do it yourself. You could just save money. $100 a year really isn't that much. It's actually less than $10 a month. You could spend that on a coffee nowadays. But you could just do it to yourself. If you actually estimated the time, let's be realistic here. You go to a website, you find, let's say the email to request data removed. Maybe that takes a couple minutes. Let's say 5 minutes if you're unfamiliar with a website. You find that website, so that would be like 5 minutes. But let's say you're searching around, you might need to look individually for that website and do some research there. That might take quite a while for all these websites. So as you can see, the time is going to start adding up. Maybe 10 minutes to find each website, 5 minutes to send an email, maybe another couple minutes we're replying to that email, confirming your stuff and adding it to be removed. 20 minutes per website, maybe. The additional time required to list out all these websites, keep track of these websites. That's probably going to take time as well. If you're familiar with spreadsheets, yeah, honestly, let's say 10 to 20 minutes per website. That's going to be around 4,000, maybe 4,000 to 5,000 minutes for $100. Let's see how much that would cost. So basically doing the math, you're paying a couple cents per minute, and for an hour, you're pretty much paying them $2 an hour. So with that kind of sketchy match, I think it's worth it. If you're paying $2 an hour for them to do this for you, that's really not too bad. If you paid someone professionally, it might take $20, $30 an hour, maybe even more, $50 an hour. So I do think these services are worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you thought this was a fake review, if you thought I wasn't being fair, if I was being too shilly or anything like that. I'm always open to feedback. It's just my personal experience. I'm just a regular guy who cares about privacy, these kind of services. I've tested out a lot of them. This is the one I'm sticking with. I do like this one. If you want to use my link, you'll get this deal you see on screen. Any extra free months they offer or not, you don't have to use it. And I will make no money. Don't worry about that. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video very soon.
5.
I'm so burnt out on making YouTube videos. Get back to work!